year to Blake Griffin, #1 pick, Rookie of the Year, 6-time All-Star, and has peak absolutely electric, dunking on Kendrick Perkins.
One of the best game dunkers ever.
Yeah, I'd say so.
No question.
How are you going to remember Blake Griffin here?
One of the best game dunkers ever.
There we go.
That's how I remember. But I don't think a Hall of Famer.
Oh, well,
But it depends.
in a perfect
the way
world,
things
correct.
go.
In the current world, he was probably first ballot.
We don't have to name names.
Floodgates
but
have been wide open, boys.
Wonderful Reds
I think
Mariners.
Cruz getting
Fly ball to short left. Oh, it's Ellie De La Cruz. Bit of a slump at the plate, but he still makes weird and wonderful. Mariners win, though. They're 3 games under 500. Weird. Top of the 9th, Cubs down 1. Horner on second. Ginkel with the wild pitch. Horner comes all the way around third. Says, you know what? I'm just going to try to score here. Cubs win it in the 11th. They move to 10-6. Wonderful Orioles Twins. Cedric Mullins with the grab in center. Just a nice catch. Orioles win this one 7-4. They're in second behind the Yankees. And final wonderful WNBA draft. Caitlin Clark goes #1. Joins last year's Rookie of the Year, early of Boston on the Indiana Fever. Brew, your expectations?
Huge. I expect her to go there and get busy.
Yeah.
I heard a WNBA player say yesterday she'll average between 12 and 17 points. I was like,
Really?
what? If she averages 13 points, I'm going to be severely disappointed. I'm looking at 19 a game. They don't score quite as much, it seems, in the WNBA.
No.
But, yeah, I'm looking
almost
for
as disappointed as I am for the Royals once again getting snubbed.
What do the Royals do? Have a
Oh, I don't know. We were basically tied for first in the division. Past
It's
Latino
not
with
the
great
standings.
What do you-
It's cool plays.
Well,
and
speaking of
Blake
cool-
Griffin's retirement. Speaking of cool,
Sorry.
let's talk about the Jets. Jets started their voluntary offseason workout with Rodgers in attendance. Also some fashion news. The Jets debuted some new uniforms.
Oh, that'll fix it.
Yeah. Last year the
What's
team
new?
found the way. I don't understand.
What is new?
I think it's a shinier
I don't
helmet.
know, but the owner
A
loves
few
it.
years ago, they had new uniforms.
The owner
They look
loves
very
endorsing
similar.
Trump and rolling out new jerseys.
I click on all
Just
these
can't
like
get
new
enough of
uniform
either.
videos, and they never do it for me. Last year they won 7 games. This year Vegas has their win total at 9.5. Do you expect the Jets to underperform or overperform?
Brew, I bet I can convince you under is the right answer.
Oh, go ahead. Good luck.
Full list of AFC teams with a higher win total than the Jets. Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo, Cincy. Full list. They have the same projected win total as your beloved Houston Texans, as your beloved Green Bay Packers. They have a higher win total than the Rams. They have a 2-game higher win total than your extra beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. So with those being the level set, do you think they're going to over or underperform?
I'm in! I'm in!
It's such a bad call. How can you be in?
I'm looking because I'm looking at the paper.
Okay.
I'm looking at the paper and saying what's not to like.
Well, I can sell you several things.
Really? Because they added Tyron Smith, future Hall of Fame offensive tackle. They added Mike Williams, dynamic receiver when healthy.
Yeah, once a
All
month.
right, Hassan Reddick to a defense that already was 3rd in the league, total defense.
Mike Hassan Reddick. Yep.
Well,
All
is
right.
that points or yards?
Yards.
Okay,
Total
we're
defense.
using
They were
yards.
but hold on, you're going to give up a lot of points when you got the worst quarterback play in the league. They and I know, Nick, you're not a fan of Robert Saleh, who I happened to see in the airport on the way to Kansas City this past weekend.
Okay.
We didn't talk, but I just saw him from afar.
All right.
But 7-10 the last 2 years, again, with the worst quarterback play in the league, arguably. I don't know if Aaron's going to be closer to MVP, Aaron, or what we saw the last year in Green Bay. Probably what we saw last year in Green Bay,
that's fair.
but better. I expect them to be like good, not vintage Rodgers, but good. And in the division, Nick, we got to admit, the division, come on, what's Buffalo doing? The Miami, and obviously the Patriots.
We'll win one.
I mean, I just think if they're, and I hate to even throw it in there, if they're healthy, you know, that's a caveat. Yeah, they're going to be pretty good. Playoff team.
Wild.
No, you know what my take is. Everybody knows it. Aaron Rodgers is not a solid quarterback anymore, and that's why Green Bay moved. That's why Green Bay.
Solid?
I don't know. Green Bay moved on. It said it's time to give the keys to the kingdom to Jordan Love, and Jordan Love was excellent, and he hasn't thrown for 300 yards in 23 games.
And let me say one other thing, Brew, because you think, I'll be very quick here, Hubs, that Russell Wilson last year was much better than I think he was.
Right.
So what happened to Russell that one year? oh, Nat Hackett was running his offense. And Nat Hackett's going to be running this offense. So even if you're saying Rodgers is going to be the level he was the last year in Green Bay when they were barely 500 and he had a down year by his standards, that same level of player going from Matt LaFleur to Nat Hackett is going to be worse. So, like, there is an element of how much does coaching and coordinating matter, plus the injury, plus all the nonsense. So, no, I will bang that under. And I know you don't gamble, but we might find a way to make that a show bet or something. Because if you want over 9.5, you can have it.
They could be 9-8.
They beat Buffalo.
Could they be 9-8?
Philadelphia.
9-8, you lose.
JJ.
Mahomes named one of Time's most influential people of the year. In a wide-ranging article, Mahomes talks about the longevity needed to be considered an all-time great, but does note he's off to a pretty good start. Quote, he's now entrenched in the GOAT conversation. Brady won his third Super Bowl MVP when he was 37 years old. We start counting MVPs now, I guess. Montana was 33. Mahomes just 28. I've had at least one of the top 3 starts to a career, says Mahomes. I'll put it that way. Solid. Your reaction, Nick?
Well, it's unquestioned the best first 7 years of any NFL player ever. And when I say 7, that includes the year he didn't play at all, because it'd just be fair to everybody. And so it's not top 3 start to a career. It's even better than Brady's start to a career because they are equal in in Super Bowl wins.
But he's the force.
And right, he's got the MVPs. He also has another appearance. But the other thing that separates him, and we'll see how long he can keep this going, is unlike any of the other all-time greats, never a stumble. Never a down year. Never missed the playoffs. Never, for Peyton Manning, playoffs. Aaron Rodgers, first year as a starter. Brady, second year as a starter. All those guys, Montana had it, none of it. And so we've never seen him bad. In fact, in his worst year he ever had, he won the Super Bowl anyway and was great the entire postseason. So he's 28. He'll be 28 when next season starts. So I think he's going to have his 4th Super Bowl before he turns 30. Could he have 5 before he's 32? If he's 28 now? Is that a reasonable, it's not unreasonable.
A whole new standard.
Right.
Put it this way, quick, and I'll be quick so you can finish. I can't even fathom him going a decade without winning the Super Bowl. And that's not a shot at Brady, but I'm just saying. Can you even fathom that?
And I know some people would have said, well, we couldn't fathom that with Aaron, right? And Aaron went more than that. But the difference
he's already proven.
Right, he's already proven that the moment will never be too big for him. He's proven he can play through injury. Yeah. Obviously, because it's football, devastating injury can throw things off. And he is miles better than Brady was as a player at this point of his career. And so I don't think a drought is coming. And no matter what my pal Mike Florio tries to stoke to the media, Andy Reid's not going anywhere anytime soon. And so for all those reasons, Patrick is being humble, and I appreciate that. He's had the best start to a career ever. And I think right now in Vegas, if you set the, odds, what does he finish his career at Super Bowl-wise, what do they set it at? 5.5? They said at 5.5, I would hammer the over. Yep. They said it at 6.5. It's a hard bet, but it's not that.
You're just going to run into some bad luck, though. You're going to get the.
But I feel
6 is a really good number. He'll win 6 Super Bowls. That's a good number.
But go ahead.
So when Josh Allen talks about the Super Bowl, we're pump the brakes. Mm-hmm. Even when Joe Burrow starts flirting with the Super Bowl, we say pump the brakes. And Mahomes is always very careful to keep the moment right in front of him. But he was talking about how his wife sent him home at 4:30 a.m. because they had to go to Disneyland the next day. And then there was my favorite sentence.
Oh, yes. Article. Oh, I saw this too.
Next year's Super Bowl, Mahomes points out, is in New Orleans. Quote, so it'd be Disney World if we go again. So he's already planning. It's a short flight to Disney World once we win again. Also on Fox. Hey.
But also because he's been, if the Super Bowl's West Coast, you go to Disneyland. Yep. The Super Bowl's East Coast, you go to Disney World. And I don't think people should look at it, Wilds, as 6.5. They should look at it as 3.5. Will Patrick Mahomes get to 7 Super Bowls? It's will he get 4 more?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Will Patrick Mahomes, who's 28 years old, and has been in the Final Four every year of his career and been in the Final Two.
The Kelsey factor, I got to see him without Kelsey. We've never seen it. And Kelsey does seem locked in, don't get me wrong. But I got to see him without Kelsey.
But the other question is, how good is this defense going to continue to be?
True.